Hello and welcome. This is going to be a combination of divine partnership and general manifesting tips. And I have to thank Spirit and the love of amusement because a lot of these reminders come to me usually when I'm either talking to one of my sons or a kid in general, and they really are closer to Spirit, and so it makes sense that things come in that way. But the tip today is to remember not to limit your options when it comes to something you're manifesting. And the example would be like if you're thinking about wanting to manifest money. What a lot of people do, they make the mistake of limiting the way that the money can be manifested. And they make the mistake of focusing on manifesting the money rather than the thing that they want. Like, if you want a house, don't focus on like manifesting enough money to get a house. Focus on the house that you want to manifest, and the money will come to you. If you listen to any of the really, big time manifesting gurus, that's what they talk about over and over and over again. We get focused on each step in between when really this is one of those times when especially if you've taking on the other manifesting tips. It's the time when you can skip over the middle stuff. Now, you are going to, the money's going to need to come to you somehow, especially if you're not okay with like stealing or manifesting stolen money. But that doesn't mean that there aren't other ways that you can get money other than, say, working. Like that's a pretty big go-to. It's like, well, I've got to figure out how to work to make enough money to do this. Now, as an example, my son wants to manifest a motorized scooter, like a Razor scooter, but little motor on the end. And he found the one that he wanted, which was like one that somebody else had at a park, and it's about $500, which is a little out of our range right at the moment. But I don't like to say that stuff with them. I want to teach them this stuff early on. And so we talked about how many different ways that he could manifest money. And I thought, that's funny because I need to take my own advice on that. I get locked in that just like most other adults. But he took off with it. It was great. Like one way the money could manifest is you could do jobs. You could do jobs for the neighbors. You could do jobs for others. It could also, his birthday's coming up. There could be gifts of money that are given to him. And it could be a combination of those two. Or we could find money on the ground somewhere. Or he could win a prize in some way. You can keep going that way too. And it's good to do that when you find yourself bound up or overwhelmed about money issues, or when you feel like something that you've been trying to manifest is held back by something, by a certain step. And it's not just money, like if you're looking for, let's say, love. Remember that like love really, it doesn't have that much to do with physicality in terms of like sexuality and things like that. Love is a deep appreciation. It's for another person, an appreciation for how you feel when you're around someone. You can get that from friends, you can get that from family, you get that from kids, you can get that most importantly from yourself. And you can also get it from a partner. If you're single, you can there's all sorts of ways you can manifest to find somebody that is in your vibration and along the same journey with you. You go to the library, you could go to a concert, you could go for a walk down the street. You don't have to get on dating apps, you don't have to put yourself out there, you don't have to do blind dates. Just be open to the ways that it can come to you. And if you're on like the twin flame journey, the same thing happens. Like you might see your person with a karmic or a soulmate, and like you've got one image in your mind that like they need to get out of that relationship in a really respectful way and then apologize for everything and come back to me and do this and this and that. Well, you lock out that option when you do that. So the better way to look at it is, what are the different options? Like it could be a day from now that they return, or it could be months, or it could be years. And if this is somebody that you're really that connected to, then it's just that's a really short amount of time in the long run of being with someone forever, effectively, at least in terms of this lifetime. And if you're looking, like even something as simple as you're looking for, let's say from a friend or a partner or somebody, you want an apology, do you necessarily have to have it in 3D? Like, do you have to have a verbal apology that comes through to you so that you know that they've learned their lesson and all that? Or could you receive it from spirit? Or could you receive it through another person if they needed to take that small step first, the little, like, Page of Cups step? Or could it come in written form instead of verbal form? Or, there are many different ways that it could come to you. You don't have to necessarily have it in, like, one specific way. And the same thing with if you have an outcome going on around, if you have something going on around you that you think that you need to organize a new contract for or agree to terms, maybe with roommates or something like that, you don't necessarily need to have it come in one way. It could come in many different ways. You could receive healing separately from them, and then when you guys come back together, the issue is solved. Or it could be through a talk, or it could be just no issue at all. Anyways, please leave feedback below. Let me know if my gibbering is helping with your manifesting abilities. And please let me know in email if you'd like any more advice or guidance or information about this manifesting tip and opening up your options. I definitely recommend anytime you're feeling stuck in your manifesting to make lists of this, all the different ways that the things that you want can come to you. And you'll notice a lot more things opening up at that point in time. All right, everybody, thanks for watching.